Welcome to the Bodhi Academy. My name is Amisha Kulaso, and in today's video we will start with the chapter Fiber to Fabric, class 7, chapter 3. Now, in class 6 you have learned about some fibers that are obtained from plants. You have also learned that wool and silk fibers are obtained from animals. So now we know that many plants yield us some of the fibers. Also we know some animals also yield us materials like wool and silk. Wool is obtained from the fleece of the sheep or yak. So fleece is the hair that is present on their body. Silk fibers come from cocoons of the silk moth. This we all know. So do you know which part of the sheep's body yields fiber? Obviously the fur that is there, or the fleece that we call it. Are you aware how these fibers are converted into woolen yarn that we buy from the market to knit sweaters? Do you have any idea how silk fibers are made into silk, which is worn into saris? In this chapter, we shall try to find the answer to this question. So now we know we are getting some kind of material like wool, silk, we are getting this from animals, okay? But now how are they further processed? How it is converted into a proper material? How the woolen threads are made out of this sheep wool that we get? Animal fibers, wool and silk. So first we'll speak about wool. So wool comes from sheep, goat, yak and some other animals. These wool yielding animals, they bear hair on their body. Do you know why these animals have a thick coat of hair? Hair traps a lot of air. Air is a poor conductor of heat, as you would have learned in chapter 4. So hair keeps these animals warm. Wool is derived from these hairy fibers. So wool is firstly obtained from which three animals? Sheep, goat and yak. Now this wool is obtained from what? Their hair or their fleece that is present on their entire body. Now why do they have so much thick hair onto their body? For what reason? So we know that what happens is that wool or any layer of hair onto the body can trap air. So therefore it keeps the these animals like sheep, goat, yak warm during cooler time. So therefore they have this thick layer of hair that is there, and this wool is therefore derived from these hairy fibers. Feel the hair on your body and arms and those on your head. Do you find any difference? Which one seems porous and which one is soft? Like us, the hairy skin of the sheep has two types of fibers that form its fleece. So hairy skin of sheep, there are two types of fibers. First is the coarse beard hair and the fine soft under hair close to the skin. So every body has two types of hair. Now first is, we see a thick layer of hair, right? So the thicker part, the layer that we see on top, it is coarse beard hair. It is slightly harder, whereas the new hair that comes from the skin, that is the fine soft hair that is present right near the skin. The fine hair provide fibers for making wool. Some breeds of sheep possess only fine under hair. Their parents are specially chosen to give birth to sheep which have only soft under hair. So now when they want these wool, what they do is they only prefer this these ones who have this soft under hair, and only those parents are chosen who will yield them this soft under hair. This process of selecting parents for obtaining special characters in their offspring, such as soft underhair in sheep, is termed as selective breeding. So now this process in which they only choose particular parents who will give them what they want. Like if you want a soft underhair a parent, then they go for somebody who has that, okay? So their offspring will also have it. So such a type of breeding is called as selective breeding, where you are very specific, very selective to what you want. Okay, now animals that yield wool. Several breeds of sheep are found in different parts of our country. However, the fleece of a sheep is not the only source of wool. Though wool is commonly available in the market, commonly available in the market is the sheep wool, yak wool is common in Tibet and Ladakh. Angora wool is obtained from Angora goats found in hilly regions such as Jammu and Kashmir. So now all types of wool is not found in all the places. Okay, they are very specific to the region they belong to. Most common one we find in our markets is the sheep wool. But now see, there is yak, and yak wool is mostly found in Tibet and Ladakh because that animal belongs there. Then we have the Angora wool that is obtained from the Angora goats, and it is only found in hilly regions of Jammu and Kashmir. Wool is obtained from goat hair. The underfur of Kashmiri goat is very soft. It is worn into fine shawls called pashmina shawls. Now we all have heard about the pashmina shawls. So they are made from the goat hair that are found in Kashmir. Okay, why goat hair? Because that is the soft hair that they have, and this soft hair that they find, they then weave it into a fine shawl known as the pashmina shawl. The fur on the body of camels is also used as wool. Llama and alpaca found in South America also yield wool. So different animals found in different regions, they have hair on their body and they yield us different types of wools. Okay, next let's go ahead. See here, they have given, this is the yak, then this is the llama, alpaca, this is the camel, this is the Angora goat, and here this is the goat that is found in the Kashmiri region. Okay, so now let's go ahead from fibers to wool. Now we know from where we are obtaining the wool. Now how does it get converted to the actual wool that we receive? So for obtaining wool, sheep are reared. Their hair is cut and processed into wool. Let us learn about this process. Rearing and breeding of sheep. If you travel to hills in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttaranchal, Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim, or plains of Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat, you can see shepherds taking their herds of sheep for grazing. So when you travel along the hilly regions, what we see mostly is that we see there are these people who take, there are these shepherds who take a herd of sheep for grazing. These sheep are herbivorous, that is they only eat plants and they prefer grass and leaves. Apart from grazing sheep, rearers also feed them on a mixture of pulses, corn, jawar, oil, cakes and minerals. In winter, sheep are kept indoor and fed on leaves, grains and dry fodder. So what they are saying is that now what they do, apart from the grass and the leaves, they also give them a mixture of pulses, corn, jawar, oil cakes. All these things are mixed together and a mixture is given to them. This mixture has a lot of minerals. In winters, sheep they keep them indoor and they fed on leaves, grain and dry fodder. Sheep are reared in many parts of our country for wool. Table 3.1 gives the names of some of the breeds of sheep reared in our country for producing wool. The quality and texture of fibers obtained from them is also indicated in the table. Certain breeds of sheep have thick coat of hair on their body which yields good quality wool in large quantities. So here we can see there are names of breeds, quality of wool and where they are exactly found. So we have Lohi, Rampur, Busair, Nali, Bakarwal, Marwari and Patanwadi. Then you see the type of wool that they give and where it is found. Mentioned earlier, these sheep are selectively bred, with one parent being a sheep of a good breed. Once the red sheep have been developed a thick growth of hair, hair is shaved off for getting wool. So now we know that it is selective breeding, where they be very selective so as to what kind of hair they want. Only those parents they are going to get in for this breeding purpose. Then once the whatever the hair they want is achieved, then they shave it off to get the wool. Now let's see how these fibers are processed to form the wool. The wool which is used for knitting sweaters or for weaving shawls is the finished product of a long process which involves the following steps. So now the first step is that the fleece of the sheep along with a thin layer of skin is removed from its body, and this process is called as shearing. So when they shave, they remove the fleece as well as a very thin layer of their skin as well, and that process of removing is known as the shearing process. Machines similar to those used by barbers are used to shave off the hair. So they usually use those razors to get off the hair. Usually hair are removed during the hot weather. This enables sheep to survive without their protective coat of hair. So what they do is that they remove it during the hotter weather. So therefore the sheep learns to survive without their protective coat of hair. The hair provides woolen fibers. Woolen fibers are then processed to obtain the woolen yarn. Shearing does not hurt the sheep, just as it does not hurt when you get a haircut or your father shaves his beard. Do you know why? The uppermost layer of skin is dead. Also, the hair of the sheep grown again just as your hair does. So now what they are saying is that we might be thinking when they are shaved off, they may be feeling some kind of pain, but that is not the case. Because that is a very topmost layer, and that skin is almost the dead skin that is present. So removing that layer does not cause any harm to the animal. Next step is that the sheared skin with hair is thoroughly washed in tanks to remove grease, dust and dirt. Second step is the cleaning, that step is called as scoring. So in that case what they do, they wash off the hair along with the skin to get rid of grease, dust on all the dirt that is present. Nowadays scoring is done by machines. After scoring, sorting is done. The hairy skin is sent to a factory where hair of different textures are separated and sorted. So now after cleaning, first what they do, they shave off, that is the shearing. Then they do scoring, in that they clean the hair or to get rid of grease, dust and dirt. Third step what they do is that they do the sorting process, that every animal it will have different textures, right? So in that case they separate out each hair based on their textures. Then next step, the small fluffy fibers called burrs are picked out from the hair. These are some burrs which sometimes appear on your sweaters. So now what happens is that sometimes you appear this round woolen thing, balls like that are formed, small ones. These are called burrs. Then this is also present in the hair that they get. So they sit and separate it out. The fibers are then scored again and dried. This is the wool ready to be drawn into fibers. So after separating, they again wash it and they dry it, and then it is ready to be done into fibers. Step 5. The fibers can be dyed in various colors, as the natural fleece of sheep and goat is black, brown or white. So then after that they dye it into the colors that they want. Mostly because we get the wool in different colors, right? So that is happening here. They are dyeing the fibers that they get. The fibers are then straightened, combed and rolled into a yarn. The longer fibers are made into wool for sweaters, and the shorter fibers are spun and woven into woolen cloth. So here what they do, then they comb it nicely and they roll it into yarn. The one which are long, they use them for sweaters, and the shorter one are woven into woolen cloth. Okay, so that was it. That was it for today's video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Bodhi Academy.